It only took Cecil Forinash 2 days to write a book about his life.
Everybody's read it, say, my God, this ought to be in the movies. This ought to be read serially by the newspapers.
But ask this retired Army veteran about his biggest challenge as a soldier, and you get a long pause followed by this answer.
Well, where do I start? I arrived in the Philippines in November 1940.
Old newspapers report his last message home was a Christmas greeting by telegram. 2 years after landing in the jungle, Forinash found himself on a battlefield in the Philippines, surrendering to the Japanese.
Just put us all on the road and started marching north.
And you start marching down the road. Do you have any idea where you're going?
No.
His Japanese captors then led Forinash and close to 75,000 American and Filipino troops on a forced march to prison camps. History books would call that the infamous Bataan Death March.
How were you treated by the Japanese captors?
Oh, well, if you're unlucky, you got hit with head by it.
Forinash smiles about his good fortune now, but in his book he writes that on the trail he saw fellow prisoners who failed to keep up, beaten, stabbed, and shot.
And you couldn't leave the line, you get shot.
What's running through your mind?
How in the world could you ever survive something like this?
Forinash moved from prison camp to prison camp, starved for water and food. After making it north to O'Donnell, he says the American POW death rate soared. 60 deaths a day, and the walking dead were burying the dead.
Had this malaria, and you get these chills and fevers, and they just kill you.
Forinash survived episode after episode of severe sickness. At times he expected to die, but he ended up surviving more than 3 years as a POW.
Almost 3.5 years. 3 years, 5 months, and I don't know, I hadn't figured the days.
Near the war's end, Forinash heard rumors of freedom, but rumor turned to reality when American planes flew over his camp dropping food. At that moment, he finally paused to seriously consider one question.
What you going to do after you get out? What you going to do?
That's what you were thinking about?
Oh, yeah.